India doesn't believe in the use of sanctions as a tool in international politics. India has resisted this always, be it on Myanmar, be it on Iran. India has always abided by UN sanctions as not country-specific sanctions. As in the case in North Korea, we abide by the international sanctions if it's imposed by the UN. There's no UN-led sanctions on Iran. These are country-specific sanctions. And this is led only by US. Even the European Union and the European countries, other signatories of the P5+1 agreement, are not willing to support the US stand, and and they also have similar problems with the US. Which was not anticipated when US had reimposed sanctions on Iran, but the Saudi-US tensions, the Europe-Saudi tensions, that might jack up the oil prices. This was never considered, even when everybody had apprehension that after November 4, oil prices will go up, when many countries might force to bring down their import to zero. Over and above that, the tensions between Saudi Arabia and the West may further impact the oil prices, and under that circumstances, India needs to continue its supply line from Iran, from Iraq, from Saudi Arabia, and even considering importing more oil from Russia. There is a new agreement that India has signed with Uzbekistan, a business agreement of oil, purchasing oil from Uzbekistan, and look for connectivity routes for transshipment. The volatility of the geopolitics impacts the oil prices. We need to keep all the sources, need to purchase from all sources, is the bottom line. The Chinese geopolitics is about geoeconomics, and these countries have not really, including in Syria, have not really been dependent on Chinese support to boost their economic growth. And Sino-Iran relations, has been sort of good, but not in the way that China would want to emerge as a player so far. Iranians have always been careful while dealing with China, while trying to expand relations. They have always been careful not to fall into any kind of a Chinese promise of a better future. Therefore, if one looks at it, the Belt and Road Initiative in Iran has not made any headway as such. There have been reports from time to time coming that, okay, if India is slow on Chabahar, which was the case earlier, before 2014, that Iran would invite China to be partnering Chabahar. Nothing of that sort has happened. So China wants to, of course, buy oil from Iran in their own currency, and which they'll continue to do, because they have a huge population to support who need hydrocarbons, and China is deficient in hydrocarbon, and therefore its primary goal through Belt and Road is to not only transport the capital but also to transfer the resources. How much will China become a player in Iran? It's difficult, because at the end of the day, Iran is a big country, it's a proud civilization, it wants to do deals at its own terms.